From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big early mornings on LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check, which is still in the fourth stimulus package. We'll be going over the monthly stimulus check that's still heading to the finish line. And it's still in the same place it was a week ago today. But everything else that doesn't concern you is somewhere else. Good, we didn't want to see you. Roads and bridges, which had nothing to do with you unless you owned one, are no longer around you. Good. In this recording, we'll explain the wonderful news as all the great progressive policies are anchored and protected inside a reconciliation process, much as they were exactly a week ago. We'll be going over the monthly stimulus checks, how much you're going to get and when you're going to get it. Then we'll be cutting to fifth stimulus, which heats up this fall with another stimulus check going out next year, and the raising up of your benefits lifetime, and the breaking news about what the Fed had, and the new economic data on Friday said. Then we cut to the big money across the board that viewers are getting thousands of dollars, and it's your chance to get it today as well. You can even get it on the weekend. It's a big early mornings broadcast. I'm excited you're here. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing. Let's get to the great details, and we're starting right here, right now, on Early Mornings LALATE. Happy Saturday morning. You know, I was just looking at my hands and I have blue ink all over my hands. So if you think I've been playing with the blue Crayola crayons, maybe I have. It's not my fault. I hope the weather is good where you are. How's the weather where you are? Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. It's beautiful here in Santa Monica this Saturday morning. In this fourth stimulus check update 2021, we'll be going over the monthly stimulus check, how much you're going to get from those Democrats still, and when are you going to get it still. It's still in the month of July. And what are the details you need to know going into the new week? Then we're going to go over the fifth stimulus that heats up this fall and the big news across the board in that. In the middle of this recording, we'll be going over the breaking news about fourth stimulus as we understand there's two paths. I'll explain the two paths, and you're learning really quickly, understanding how this has really not changed much of anything for you, just stuff that had nothing to do with you in the first place. And then we cut to the big money across the board the viewers continue to get, and this is Early Mornings LALATE. And this is LALATE as well. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. America's fastest growing and only American financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons, 24 hours of programming across the board. I'm next with you on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which will be live on air. At the same time, this recording, Overnight's Crypto is playing, and at the end of this recording, it'll take you into that video, still underway for 15 hours. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. And like this video. Every like delivers a piñata. That's what I heard. And consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that fourth stimulus heating up right now. The fourth stimulus payouts are unchanged as they were a week ago. The stimulus packages and the stimulus checks, let's compare Senate versus House, starting right now. The Senate and House both provide a monthly stimulus check, just different amounts of checks and different months of checks as well. Let's look at it right now. House bill. Pandemic plus 1 year. Senate proposal. Pandemic till December. Let's look at the monthly payouts. House bill, Jalapal. Monthly payout, $1,000 after the first month of 2000. Senate payout, unknown monthly, but word on the street is it's this. Wow, now that is deliciousness. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000 an individual. Or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400 an individual. Let's go back over something you need to take a look at, which is this. Pandemic plus 1 year, well, legislators may contend the pandemic's over. So that might be just good reduced to 1 year. If you're on the live chat just after 4 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. House or Senate, House or Senate. Let's go back to that. Pandemic plus 1 year, it might get reduced to just 1 year. If that's the case, then that would be $13,000 of checks from the House and Jalapal versus the Senate over 6 months. This Yeah, I think you have an opinion. Which one you like, House or Senate? Jump in the live chat right now and vote and tell me where you're tuning in from. There you go. Who gets that fourth stimulus check? Democrats represent everyone who got a third stimulus check will get a fourth stimulus check. Single individuals, 75,000 or less, you get a fourth stimulus check. The Democrats represent. Family of four, yes, you would get a fourth stimulus check. The Democrats represent. Just quadruple it. Married couple, yes, Democrats represent. They would give you a fourth stimulus check as well. Double it. Family that makes, married couple, 150,000 or less, Democrats represent, you would get it, just double it. And also, if you're on benefits, you would get a fourth stimulus check, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. The fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check is a monthly stimulus check. It's not a waivable or a check that comes in waves. So if you see the check this weekend at the surf shop and you say, hey, checking you out, checking out the surfboard. You surf? Not responding back. What a rude check. It's not a rude check. It's just not a waivable check. But checking out the waves, you with those waves. I can't figure out. You're not waivable, but you like the waves. I just, go choke on a pinata. It's not a rude check. It's just not a waivable check, but likes the waves. I don't know. There you go. There's a fourth stimulus check in 2021. The Democrats represent you would get a fourth stimulus check in the month of July. Maybe with a pinata, maybe without. And then the month of August with the pinata. And there you go. They also represent the vote would be done by July 4th. In the second part of this video, we'll be going over the breaking news that the president has now given you 2 pass pinatas. Or maybe no pinatas at all, but 2 pass for this entire process. I'll be explaining all the details you need to know. And then in the third part of this video, we'll be going over the voting process, which is now inverted. Senate to House, House to Senate. I don't care, so long as you send out the darn checks. We have all the breaking details in that as well. But here, let's get a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus, and fifth stimulus heats up this fall with another stimulus check for next year. And the raising up of your benefits lifetime, oh boy, it's deliciousness. And it's the second half of this video. Stay with me. But let's get some money. I mean, it's Saturday. You're going to the surf shop. Yeah, that check's there. You need to use that check or bring some other checks that are, can surf better. So get a pen and paper ready because I'm going to go over a lot of money I can get you in this video. A lot of money I can get you. And that's what I do. When this channel first launched last year, I got viewers $25 million of EIDL loans to save their business, their homes, and their employees' businesses as the pandemic ravaged on. But then in fall of 2020, we weren't seeing second stimulus get done, so I got viewers $250,000 with rent. Well, we're doing it right again as well. Let's go over all the incredible details. Get a pen and paper ready, or if it must be a Crayola crown, don't get it all over your hands. And we're going to go over all the details. And stay with me to the very end. We're going to go over rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and also homeowners utilities. Here we go. The rent pays a lot. It's about 4 to 6 months of rent, about $5,000. You're going to go out, reach out to different places and have different eligibility. So if one says no, don't worry, reach out to the next. All right, you ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority. Your county hall, your county housing authority. Your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Or mortgage assistance because of COVID, or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't use words they don't know, like stimulus, they don't know that word, or Nancy's fabulous Fabergé egg. What? She has a Fabergé egg? I never heard that. Well, they don't know about that either, so don't say that to them. They may say, yeah, go break an egg. So don't say those words either. There you go. Well, congratulations to one viewer this week who got $12,000 for this. Yeah, you heard me right, $12,000. Early in the week, another viewer got $10,000. You have been killing it. The week before that, one viewer got $6,000 for Snap. The week before that, a viewer got $6,000 to $7,000. What's going on? It's you, and you're just doing a wonderful, wonderful job. If you got in a penny or 1,000 pennies from this channel, jump in the live chat right now and say what you got, because it really inspires me, inspires other viewers. And congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this big money for rent. Let's get to the big money now, which is also SNAP. What is SNAP? It is money for your food from Department of Agriculture. How do you reach out to Department of Agriculture or call 211, get connected over. How much does it pay? It pays a lot. For a family of 4 in Hawaii, it pays upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up nationally 15% between now and December. So go get it. Boy, we're killing it. You're killing it. The check and the waves and the surf, I hope you wipe out. So there you go. $16,000 for Snap for a family of four in Hawaii. $5,000 for rent. We're only 10 minutes of the video. I got more money for you right now. $5,000 one viewer got for this. What is it? It's coming back from your state. The states have been ordered to return money back to you that they overpaid you due to computer error. And now the federal government said, nope, it was the citizens' money to keep. So where are you getting it? To direct deposits to that account you have on file. When are you getting it? Reach out to your state and say, hey, state, where's that check that I'm owed due to computer error, your computer error? And can you track it with a computer that actually works? There you go. And then finally, the big last pot of money. And Cog got it, Margaret got it. Viewers just killing it. Michael got it. What is it coming from? From the federal government. It's the refund check on that IRS taxes of your unemployment benefits. Let's go over how much, when, where, and how to track it. First, how much? It's a lot. Let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits. You had a $5,000 tax bill to IRS on that 2020 return, of which $4,000 was your taxes on IRS. You're getting back $4,000. When? The month of July. When? Where? In direct deposit if that was set up on your return, otherwise in the mail. And then can you track it? Yeah, about 70% of the time you can. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password. Go in there and do a transcript search. 70% of the time it reveals a lot of stuff you were not surprised to see. First, it will reveal the check you're getting back. It will reveal, the check you paid them. It will reveal the tax return you filed. It will reveal why Nancy still has that same hairstyle. And it'll reveal the tax refund check you're getting back. Is anything more wonderful than that? It is, as we go into the big cowabunga second part of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, starting right now. On Thursday, a lot of statements out of the president and the White House. On Wednesday, a lot of meetings from Nancy and Chuck with the president at the White House. But what ended with you by the end of the week? Nothing. It's still the same. What? Yeah. First, I'm going to explain broad stroke what happened this week, and then I'm going to go over the details. The net result of what happened this week is nothing changed for you. It looked like a lot of dramatics, but nothing changed for you. Your check is still in the reconciliation process. The reconciliation process is still underway. And the only thing that is different, and you'll see in the third part of this video, is the voting process is inverted, which who cares? So long as they get it done. Do we care about the voting process? But I'm going to go over it because you absolutely always ask me about how the voting process works. And it is very important. The net result is, so long as you get it done, we're fine. So what happened? Why so much fanfare? It looked like it was a lot of stuff that happened. Let me explain what went on. We started the week with a monstrous reconciliation bill, a bloated reconciliation bill. And much like a sitcom that has too many cast members, Nancy and Chuck looked at it and said, this is too big. We got to spin some cast members off from that sitcom and put them in their own spinoff. Why were they having to spin off cast members and put them in their own spinoff out of that recon? Because Democratic senators that they had polled had said, it's too big, the recon. We will agree to two separate paths, but we won't agree to one, and we won't agree to something that doesn't have everything that we all want as progressives, and we won't agree upon something that has everything that the GOP wants. We won't do it. So you need to spin off some parts, meaning take it out and put it on a spinoff. We all understand a sitcom. The lead cast member or the supporting cast member is very interesting, but it just needs to go somewhere else. Different time zone. So you're going to spin off that and separate it out. And that became the two-path process. We started the week with the recon, and by Wednesday night, Chuck and Nancy and the president had made the agreement. The recon is too big. We're going to spin off some parts of the recon into its own show, and the new spin-off show will be called Bipartisan. But how about my stuff? No, your stuff is still in the recon. We just spun off people we don't want to see anymore. Did you just say that? I just said that. And so what's going to the spinoff, the bipartisan stuff? Stuff we don't care about? Oh, so the spinoff has the cast members we don't really like. Yeah, sort of like that. Roads and bridges are in the spinoff. Roads and bridges. Unless you own a road, you really don't care about the spinoff show in this channel. Because no one cares about roads or bridges because it's not our roads. Well, I mean, yeah, we drive on the roads. We care that there's a pothole. I got it. But it's not giving us money because we don't own the roads. So where's our money? Our money is always where it was in the recon. It's still there. Our money is still in the recon. Forced stimulus is still in the recon. Our checks are still in the recon. Climate is still in the recon. The CARES economy for seniors is still in the recon. Everything that's progressive is still in the recon. So wait, let's go over this again. So we started the week with a recon, and now they just sort of took some stuff out of the recon that no one cared about, roads and bridges, and put them bipartisan. Exactly, correct. And all our stuff that we cared about originally in the recon is still in the recon. Yes, exactly correct. So why was there all this fanfare? I don't know. I don't run Washington. So how many bills are there? There are currently no bills yet. They're still drafting them. How many bills will there eventually be? There'll be 3. There'll be the recon procedural bill, the recon substantive bill, and the bipartisan bill. Okay, so let me understand this correct. There's a recon process that was already underway. It's still underway. And there's now the bipartisan process that has the roads and the bridges separate and apart. But all our stuff is still in the recon. Yep, you got it. That's easy. That's not difficult. Why do they make this sound so difficult? Because they like to leave you confused. I like to have you informed. And I got to really commend the viewers of this channel. I mean, we saw this come on Thursday. It looked, for me, when I first heard it, I thought this is very elaborate. I don't want to say confusing. It's just elaborate. And I said, I gotta get graphics. I gotta simple it down. I gotta separate and go slowly. I need to know how to go one at a time. And when I explain it one at a time, viewers will understand it. And you've been killing it. You absolutely understand how this is working. So, ironically, we got the tip off of this, and we didn't realize it. We got the hint. We got the spoiler alert that there's going to be a spinoff a week ago. Who? Jalapa. Jalapa tells us everything. You know she's going to be the next Speaker of the House at this point. I mean, she just tells us everything. You just read her tea leaves. She just tells us everything. So Jalapa a week ago this Friday said with Brian Schatz, Democrat of Hawaii, both progressives, that the president had said, Jalapa, you're doing a great job. You're protecting my progressive policies in the reconciliation process. This is the president. The president has 2 reconciliation items that are very, very deep progressive policies that the GOP would never agree to. He said they would never agree to it. They are climate, progressive policy. That's the president's progressive policy, number 1. And then CARES economy, which refers to seniors and medicine, president's second progressive policy. He said a week ago on a Friday, he says, thank you, Jalapal, for protecting those policies in the recon. And I'm protecting your policies in the recon as well, which is, of course, our stimulus checks. And at that time, we thought, what are they talking about? And I said, rub each other's back. And I'm like, I'm not really getting what do they mean protecting each other. Well, now we know. They were building a fort around the recon part, which is path number 1, and getting everything that's not progressive out of there, going into the bipartisan bill. Because roads and bridges are not progressive policies, they're roads and bridges. Everything that's progressive is absolutely in a better place this Saturday morning. Why? Because now it's literally becoming like a fort, like the medieval ages, that's around that reconciliation process. And now the progressives are sitting in a very happy spot because all the progressive policies are in a beautiful recon process, and that the president understands, I have progressive policies, you have progressive policies, we're protecting them in this recon, and we're pushing it all the way out to the door. It's wonderful. How did we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalapa. It's just, just fill in the sentence. It's always going to be Jalapa. Jalapa wrote Schumer a letter a week, about 2 weeks ago, saying call a vote, Chuck, on the recon. Now, the letter was co-signed by 12 House Democrats who are among the 100-plus House Democrats who were in the letter a week earlier saying, Mr. President, we're going to be putting monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Wow, now that's wonderful. Can we top that? Yes. When 7 House subcommittee members wrote the president a letter saying, when we write the fourth stimulus checks, we're going to be writing them in the fourth stimulus package, and they will be monthly. Wow. Who are these people? These are people that I'm going to be referring to later in this video because they're very important. They're in the House subcommittee that wrote the first stimulus checks, the second stimulus checks, your third stimulus checks, and now represent their writing your fourth stimulus checks. And they represent their writing your fifth stimulus checks as well. Wow, that is wonderful news. Can we top that? Yeah, you can't top that. As one viewer, WR, on Noontime LA today, Noontime LA on Friday, said they had called Chris Coons' office, Senator Coons, who is the senator from Delaware, Joe Biden's close friend, and said he is currently working on the Senate bill for MSC. Yeah. So there you go. Can we get better than that? We can't get better than that. When viewers are like, are my sources for news stories now, is that wonderful? We can't get better than that. When the president 2 weeks ago today got an international agreement, which anchors forced stimulus to the finish line, by no longer needing those provisions in forced stimulus because they're covered by the international agreement about international taxes. What is this all about? Well, fourth stimulus recon is paid for by raising corporate taxes. Not the bipartisan path, you see that there. Recon is paid for by raising U.S. corporate taxes. To which the president said, I'm a little bit worried about raising corporate taxes because businesses may go overseas where the corporate rate is lower. So the president had an idea. Let's raise the corporate tax rate internationally. And he reached out to those countries a couple weeks ago. They said, I like that idea. I'll meet you in December. And Joe said to his staff, can we get Jill's potpourri recipe and bring them some potpourri around the holidays and then have them sign on the dotted line? Well, then someone had a very good idea. Don't wait for potpourri in December. Do it now. Potpourri is just you're around. And 2 weeks ago today, he went overseas and had them sign in a law now, before forced stimulus, anchoring to the finish line this provision about international corporate tax rate, which makes it now easier for the Democrats to pass the recon path of with raising forced stimulus by raising corporate taxes, because no longer are those international tax questions need to be covered there in the international agreement. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that? We can. With the third and final part of your forced stimulus check update of 2021 coming up after this commercial break, we will be going over all the details you need to know about this voting process and understand how it's done and how it's different than the third stimulus. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which has another stimulus check, and we go over the incredible details about the raising of benefits. But can we top that? We can, with the volunteers. They are the true embodiment of the Purple Power spirit. If you need help with rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, reach out to them. How do you find them? Go to the description of this video, open the description, and down in the description, you'll see an emoji with a house. Next to it is a link to the community page, news.la.com/community. That community page sends you there, and it has a picture of some kitty cats. They're not your volunteers. They're just kitty cats. Lower on the page are the volunteers. They're separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Reach out to them, and they'll help you get that rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and internet. They will not cook you waffles. They will not toast your toast or butter your butter or bring your bacon. I mean, I've already learned that. They don't bring my bacon. So here's a little bit about them. I'll see you in about 60 seconds from after this. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now in early mornings LA. The toast is toasted, the butter is buttering, and the coffee is brewing. And I'm here, you're here on this Saturday morning, direct from Santa Monica. How are you? We have big updates still coming up in the second half of this extended early mornings broadcast about your fourth stimulus and your fifth stimulus. So join me. And meantime, right after this video is over, it sends you right into overnight's crypto. Subscribe, 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. In 1 year, I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video. Every like of the video delivers you an enchilada. And consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that fourth and fifth stimulus with the details that ended the week. The week ended with the labor number coming out on Thursday and the labor number coming out on Friday. What was the Friday number? Showing massive growth and big inflationary spurts, showing the inflation is going much higher. What was the number on Thursday? It showed that the labor number was no good. New jobless claims shot up again. These are people who were never unemployed in the last year, so these are new jobless claims. So what does this mean for fourth stimulus? It means they need to pass fourth stimulus. It also gives the big push for fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus starts this fall. Starts in September, out the door by October, November, and starts landing people's hands in January. What is first? A fifth stimulus check. Those same House Democrats say that they will be doing a fifth stimulus check, so you will be getting it in January. Incredible, great news. That's fifth stimulus. Then, the president has dedicated $1 billion to Social Security Administration to ensure your benefits get to you on time. This ensures your checks, your fourth stimulus checks, and your fifth stimulus checks land on time as well. But boy, Jay Powell knocked it out of the ballpark. He this week said that the inflationary rate will be red hot and its hottest spot in December. This is huge news because, boy, we wanted three things to happen for that lift of your benefits on SSI to VA benefits. One, for them to pass the law. We'll see that in the fall. Two, that the inflation rate hit its peak in December. We have that confirmation now from Jay Powell. And then third, that the rate is actually quite high. Let's go over why this is incredible great news as delivered by Jay Powell, the Friday labor numbers, and the CPI and PPI numbers released over the last week. Let's go over how this calculates. First, they'll raise your benefits up one big time. Then they will remove the asset limit, add the inflationary benchmark, and then remove the income exclusion and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over how this calculates so you make sure you understand it. First, they'll raise your benefits up one big time. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, casino benefits. Casino benefits? I don't know. And then they're going to apply the benchmark. Now, you understand the benchmark is applied in December, and you understand that they apply it to determine whether to keep your benefits the same or raise them up next year. You know it's going to be now based upon inflation, and you know that inflation is a positive number like 1 or 2 or 20%, so you know your benefits are going up next year. And now you also know that inflation will reach its highest point in December when they apply your benchmark for next year's benefits. So how high is that benchmark going to be? How high is inflation going to be? Well, we're still hoping it stays on the high end for you. Temporary or transitory, as they say. Currently 4% potentially, and coming up to a 10% temporary transitory period until it comes back down. Let's go over how this would work. First, they'll raise your benefits up, and then they'll apply that benchmark. Let's say the benchmark is 10%. Your benefits would raise 10%. Not just next year. Lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. So if in a year from now the inflation rate is only 2%, then your benefits will be at plus 10, plus 2%. It's wonderful, wonderful news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. Now you'll be able to have some stimulus checks in your hands and then some Crayola ink on the other hand. Yeah, it's still there. They're going to remove the income cap that's dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. Now you'll be able to work if you wish and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Viewers are going to win, and love is going to win because you will no longer fear the marriage penalty. There you go. That is fifth stimulus. But these viewers who are getting $16,000 this week for rent, $5,000, $12,000 for rent, last week getting $5,000 for SNAP, and the week before getting $67,000, how are they doing this? They're becoming a member. What is membership? Membership's in the pop of the chat and also in the description of this video. By becoming a member, I'm delivering to you daily a breakdown of all the items in third stimulus that gives you money. When third stimulus is passed, I told the viewers of this channel, you're going to get a $1,400 stimulus check, but you're also going to be eligible for thousands and thousands of other money that is application-based, that is for you in third stimulus. Viewers are now learning that money by becoming members and applying and getting that money and killing it. So consider becoming a member. The details are delivered to you daily as members from the community page is authored by me on YouTube. And now let's cut back to the final part of our fourth stimulus check update, the big finale starting right now. So here we go. Two paths, recon and bipartisan. The recon has everything it had in there before that was for Americans and their pocketbooks. The only thing that has been removed from recon is stuff that was never for you. It was for bridges and roads. It's in a bipartisan bill. The great news as you go into the weekend is that the progressives are celebrating because a lot of the great social reforms, social checks, big checks are in recon and can be kept in a protected fort away from anything that they were worried from in the other political spectrum. Ironically, a lot of these progressives are now giving us a sense that there's actually a lot more checks in the recon for other things in addition. You're hearing me see those key words, in addition to your stimulus checks. We're now hearing talks that there will be monthly checks, lifetime, for children, big checks for families, lifetime. We're hearing a lot of big progressive, what they call social relief checks or payments in this recon. It's going to be wonderful. And as you heard that earlier in this viewer reached out to Chris Coons' office, senator from Delaware, and said they're already working on the Senate MSC language. This recon is now so much more protected with those progressive policies that seek to pay people a lot of money, so much better than it was before, because ultimately it's recon substantive, recon procedural, and away we go. So what is different? Is there anything different than a week ago? Well, the fact that these items are really nicely protected in this reconciliation, which it was before, but they're away from all the other stuff that was trying to, the roads and the bridges. The roads and the bridges are off somewhere else. Your progressive items are in here. Now, is the voting process different? It is different. So let me go over this. If you've been with this channel for a year, you've seen how bills start in the House, go to the Senate, signed by the President. House, Senate, President. That's the path they're going. First stimulus, second stimulus, third stimulus. Third stimulus was a reconciliation. In the case of third stimulus, House subcommittee, very important, then House floor, then Senate vote-a-rama, and then the President. But still House to Senate, just a little bit more elaborate in its path from House to Senate. So how are they going to do this? They're doing it the reverse. They announced this Thursday that they're going the opposite direction. They're starting the Senate because they want to get all the senators to agree on everything. Senate over to House to President. Now, that means much of nothing for us because the senators want to give you stimulus checks. They always have. And why this means much of nothing for us is because of this very important factor. This is where I go into a lot of detail in these videos, so you're really not going to hear anywhere else. Chuck Schumer did third stimulus earlier this year by having, there goes that letter again, the House subcommittees. Chuck is a senator. By having the House subcommittees in Nancy's house work on the language of what they did in third stimulus in conjunction with the Senate subcommittees. Nancy's subcommittees in the House worked with Chuck's subcommittees in the Senate to write what became eventually third stimulus law. Why did they do that? 1, to save time. 2, to make sure everyone agrees upon everything. 3, because they're all in the same party. They all have the same ideals. They don't dispute about anything in particular. So the fact that it's starting in the Senate, going to the House, make any difference because we've seen letters from House members instead of Senate subcommittee members? No, makes absolutely no difference. Who's taking the lead? They're never going to tell us. It doesn't really make a difference because they're working as a team. House subcommittee, Senate subcommittee. Really wonderful news. So starting in the same place, you can still get the stimulus checks in the month of July. There still is time to get the stimulus checks in the month of July. Are they finishing in the same place? And how are they voting on it? They are finishing in the same place. The voting process is a little bit weird in that they have said these things. And even the news reporters are saying, what do you mean by that? And so I expect them to explain it a little bit more over the next few days, maybe even by Sunday, that basically they're doing this. They're saying in the Senate, we're going to call the recon and call the bipartisan for a vote at the same time so that we pass them at the same time. Then to the House, we're going to call them at the same time. And then when the president gets them in his Oval Office, he's going to sign them at the same time. Why are they doing that? Because they're trying to go to each senator, say, Senator, do you agree to these two items, the recon bill, and do you agree to this bipartisan bill? Yes, I do. Okay, next senator, you agree to both of these? Yes, I do. So they're trying to call them up at the same time so they get everyone on board. Great idea. Nothing unusual. So what else then? In my Oscar-winning performance, I'm going to give you a rendition of what I expect naysayers and false narrative people will be saying all next week. It's important to note that you have done a superb job, but I was not surprised. When this channel launched, I was overwhelmed and so excited by how smart the viewers are, how intelligent they are, how quickly they learn from things, whether it's complicated EIDLs or complicated PPPs, complicated unemployment, or complicated stimulus, recon back and forth and up and down in subcommittees. You learn really quickly. You learn it within one time. So I've been very impressed by you. Now, on the other side of the spectrum are people who don't watch this channel, who are going to be at the water cooler in the office on Monday morning with you, or on the front porch this Saturday morning with next door. And this is my Oscar-winning performance of what they're going to say. I saw what the president did on Thursday. It's just roads and bridges. No, sir. No, sir. You're just confused. There's two paths. There's recon and there's a bipartisan path. No, it's just roads and bridges. No, sir. The roads and bridges is in the bipartisan path, and the recon is our forced stimulus and checks and climate and CARES economy. No, I didn't hear the president say that. Yeah, he did say it. You just didn't listen. Well, I only heard about the bipartisan. I saw him stand there with bipartisan. He didn't stand for any recon people. He doesn't have to stand with people for there to be a path. Well, I didn't see him say that. It's just going to be roads and bridges. There's nothing in roads and bridges. It's all about roads and bridges, nothing about family. Sir, yeah, there is a second path. It has checks and climate and has money for people. And that is the path number one, the recon. It is still there. Really? I don't know why, but my disbeliever voice sounds a little bit like a certain character you miss. He's going to be jealous that I'm using his voice for that. I will have to choose a different voice because it sounds like Sir Lloyd, I know. So, no, that is, I expect, what the conversation is going to sound like at the water cooler on Monday. Because if you don't want to take the time to really watch my channel or any channel or read a news article, you can hear this and say, oh, wait, what? If you don't want to take the time to learn to hear what it is, you could certainly be very confused in a second and then certainly have an opinion about your confusion. So there you go. Finally, Purple Power push. Should you continue your push? Absolutely. What that viewer did, WR, by calling up Chris Coons' office was brilliant. That's what I've been saying. Pick up the phone, call up your senator, talk to their staff. These staff are wonderful people. They handpick these staffers because they're so good, they're so polite, and they're so diligent. So understand, this is the cream of the crop when they have these staffers. Call them up and express to them why you need stimulus checks. You need multiple stimulus checks in there. And before you call them up, think in your mind why you think it's important for you to have a check. You're not fully back to work. Your economy's, your family's still in debt, or the prior check was not enough money, or you can't find work. Think to your mind what you're going to say before you call up. Also, use social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Tag your senators. You need to really focus on the senators because that's where the bill is starting. Starting in the Senate and heading over to the House, and away we go. So with that, make sure you also subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Thank you for our big numbers on Friday. Thank you for becoming a subscriber. Tell your friends and neighbors to come on over. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member as well, so you get delivered to you daily what's in second, third, fourth, and fifth stimulus. And meantime, stay with this video. 6 seconds after this video is over, it'll send you into Overnight's Crypto, currently airing on the channel. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning, early morning. Always stay positive, always stay informed, which you're doing a beautiful job with. And stay here for Overnight's Crypto, next airing on the channel.